up, guys? It is Jack from Film Fat Stats coming at you live from the Venetian in Las
Yes, sir.
Vegas. I got my two boys, Freddy and Yehuda, on the other line. I'm going to be very quick because I've got a plane to catch, but I still wanted to chat with you guys about some great games we got coming up this weekend, maybe one we saw last weekend. So, first of all, I am sick and tired of Florida State complaining the entire offseason about how great their team is, about how they got left out of the playoffs, and then getting beat by Georgia Tech in Dublin. Okay, now let's get real. Georgia Tech has a pretty good squad. They look really good this year, and I actually think that they could compete for the ACC. But all we heard all year was how great Florida State's defensive line was. They couldn't set an edge to save their life. It was one of the most ridiculous games that I have ever seen from what is supposed to be the best defensive line in college football. Okay, Florida State, sit down. There's no way in hell that Florida State competes for the ACC championship this year. Now, onto the game that we've got today, one that I'm very much looking forward to, Colorado versus North Dakota State. Now, we've seen North Dakota State run circles around the FCS for the last couple of years. Unfortunately, not as dominant as we have seen in the past couple of years. I think San Diego's, or excuse me, not San Diego State, South Dakota State, and I think Montana have a chance to actually take the FCS this year. But I do really see them matching up well against Colorado. Right now, I believe Colorado's favored by about 10 points. I'm comfortable taking North Dakota State in this game. Now, Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, great players. I don't think they put it all together yet, like we saw last year. Will they win games?
I think they won 3 games.
I do not think that they have. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do not think that they have in the offseason put it all together yet. I don't. I think that um, I think they've got a lot of talented players. I don't think that they all can work together. So I'm going to take North Dakota State to at least cover the spread. I don't know if they're going to win, but they're definitely going to cover that 10 points.
And that
Now,
game is
most exciting game that we're going to see this weekend is going to be Notre Dame versus Texas A&M. Now, I'm a homer. You guys know I'm a Notre Dame guy. However, it's the best game we're going to see this weekend. The rest we're seeing is the SEC beating up on, the little sisters of the poor. So this is definitely going to be the best game that we're going to see. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm pretty nervous. Going into College Station at nighttime in 100-degree weather, it's going to be a
Yep.
tough game for the Irish. Now, let's see if Riley Leonard can put it all together. They lost Charles Jagasaw to an injury. He's going to be out for the rest of the year. Um, and now, of course, Notre Dame is pretty deep at line. We'll see how they recover, but that was a huge loss for them, and that's going to be a big question mark, is how are they going to put that line together with the new Riley Leonard, who's known as a scrambling quarterback. Not to mention, Riley Leonard has a little bit of an injury history. Now, if he gets hurt, Notre Dame's got a very nice depth at quarterback, but they're almost all sophomores and freshmen. So those are young guys coming into College Station in 105-degree weather at 7:30 p.m., one of the toughest places to play in the entire collegiate landscape. Like I said, guys, I'm scared to death. I would not be shocked if Notre Dame drops this one. However, if Notre Dame can roll through this, there is no reason that they can't go undefeated this year. Honestly, I also hate to say it, one of the easiest schedules in college football. If they can knock down Texas A&M, the hardest game on their calendar is Florida State, who just dropped to Georgia State.
Easy
So,
dub.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So honestly, guys, I am staying so far away from this game in terms of betting that I couldn't even tell you. I'm not even betting on the kickoff. I'm not betting on yards. I'm not betting on points. I'm excited to see what they do, but you're not going to catch me touching that game with a 10-foot pole. And so, I, I mean, I can't wait, guys. College football's back, baby. And
Yeah.
Yehuda and I were just talking about the college football video game, which has been a nice substitute in the meantime. But there's nothing that's going to substitute the real thing. And so we got it coming back this weekend. I can't wait to see it. Like I said, the most competitive game is going to be Notre Dame, Texas A&M. But I would not be shocked to see one of those SEC Big Ten teams drop. Iowa, for example, is playing Illinois State. That's going to be a fun game to watch. Let's see if Iowa can put their offense together. Doubt it. Um, but I would not be shocked if we see one of those big names drop to one of the FCS or one of the G5 or one of the smaller guys. Because come on, guys, this is what college football is here for. So,
App
um,
State. App State, baby.
absolutely, 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 Yehuda. So I can't wait, guys. I'm really looking forward to it. Unfortunately, like I said, guys, I've got to run early. I'm going to catch a flight because I am in the Venetian right now. But luckily, guys, we're going to do a best ball tomorrow afternoon, and I'm looking forward to it. So, like I said, guys, I'm going to be signing off. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think about my North Dakota State, Colorado prediction, and let me know what's going to happen with Notre Dame and Texas A&M. But God, please be kind because I can't deal with the stress anymore.
Real quick.
Yeah. Hit me.
Notre Dame is not in a conference, so like I know
Correct.
they're giving college football playoff like the top 5.
Yes.
Like the winners are like automatically entered into they get a bid.
Yes,
So
sir.
what does Notre Dame need to do to win? I mean, obviously, if they go undefeated or whatever, they're gonna make the bid. But what do they need to do?
Exactly, Yehuda. So I would say, in my mind, if Notre Dame drops one game this year, they're into the playoffs. If they drop two, it's going to be a question mark, depending on where everyone else is at. And that's really frankly, the reason that they're still independent and they will continue to be independent is because it benefits them based on television rights. They're making so much damn money based on that NBC deal that they're going to remain independent until they're forced to join a conference. So if they get to a point where and frankly, we've been seeing the rules change so much in the last couple of, well, in the last year alone, but in the last couple of years, if we get to a point where, and I really think we will, where it's going to be top two from the Big Ten, top two from the SEC, whatever, whatever the Big 12 morphs into, it's going to group up a bunch of other teams. I do think that Notre Dame will eventually join a conference, but they're not going to do that until they're absolutely forced to. So in the meantime, if they only drop one game this year, which I hate to say it, where's some wood I can knock on? Here we go. If they drop a game this year, it's gonna be this Saturday to Texas A&M because Texas A&M actually does have one of the best defensive lines in college football. Now, Elko, the new coach for Texas A&M, scares the shit out of me. Jimbo Fisher, he couldn't put two and two together. Elko, man, he put a Duke squad competing with some of the best teams in the country. And you know how much talent Duke had in football. So I am terrified with what he can do with the Texas A&M NIL money. I for real think that they're going to be a real contender this year. Let's see if they can actually put it all together on Saturday. But if with Elko's coaching, with the talent they have, with that NIL money that they can attract those other players, Texas A&M is going to be a scary team, guys.
Down in Fort Worth.
Man, yeah, exactly.
And their favorite, Texas A&M is -3, I believe, right now.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so it was -1.5 when I was looking at it on Monday. So something must have happened that I do not know about. So I'm gonna have to do some more reading up to see why the line moved. But frankly, I don't think that's a bad line because
I think people are getting scared.
Yep, I think so. But like I said, man, it's like so I'm in Vegas right now, like I mentioned. It's 103 degrees at 7 p.m. down there in Texas. I think it's going to be a similar temperature. Those Notre Dame boys are used to South Bend, Indiana. I think it's about 75 there right now. So I hope Freeman's got them ready, but unless they're practicing in hoodies and stuff like that, I don't even know if you can simulate heat like that, boys. So it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game. But either way, if Texas A&M does pull it away, I think it's going to be maybe a score, maybe a touchdown, maybe a field goal. But I do not see this being any sort of blowout, anything like that. God damn it, knock on wood. I hate that I'm even saying this right now. But it's no, A&M's got a tough squad. Notre Dame's got one of the best defenses in college football. So it's really going to come down to who wins the turnover battle, who gets the most yards on special teams. And what I'm sorry, I know I'm ranting here, guys, but what I'm really looking forward to is Notre Dame, for the first time in my lifetime, has a legit receiver core. We pulled in Chris Mitchell from FIU, a couple other of great players that we pulled off of the NIL, the transfer transfers to Notre Dame. So every single beat reporter is saying for the first time in a decade that Notre Dame's got a legit wide receiving core. So let's see how it looks. Like I said, Riley Leonard, known for being a scrambling quarterback. He's got a great arm, but he's only had a couple months to learn the Notre Dame playbook, and that arm strength questionable at best. So let's see if they can put it all together. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I hope you guys tune in. I think it's going to be a great game.
Awesome.
All right, boys. Like I said, I've got a split. I'll tell you what, my prediction, Colorado wins by a field goal tonight, but like I said, field goal,
Close.
possibly overtime. It's going to be really tight. I'm excited to see how Shedeur Sanders puts it all together. But like I said, I've got Colorado barely. I've got Notre Dame by, I'm going to say 10. I have to say that. Is that a real prediction or am I a fan?
Homer.
Can't tell you. But either way, I've got Notre Dame winning. I have to say that. Let's say Iowa, Illinois State. You know what? Illinois.
What? You cut out. We missed you.
So,
you cut out.
Oh, sorry. I was just getting a call.
Yeah.
So Iowa, Illinois State, just for fun, I'm going to take Illinois State for the upset. I'll tell you that.
There we go. Upset picks.
All right, boys. Like I said, I've got to run. Love you both. Take care. I will talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks for popping in.
Safe, buddy. Yep. All right. So that was Jack with a bunch of hot takes from Vegas, the Venetian, Mr. Fancy.
I know. Hop on a jet, Mr. He thinks he can pop in, drop college football knowledge, and then fly off. I guess he just did.
Not a bad life, honestly. It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to move to the NFL. Like we mentioned, we're going to be doing a best ball tomorrow afternoon. We're going to try and get both of these up before the season starts, trying to get you guys into things, give you a little sneak peek into the season. Yehuda, do you want to take us away with some? If you have some college, you can do that, or take it away into the NFL. What games are you looking forward to week one?
Yeah, I mean, now it's time to talk about some real football. Like love Jack, and I know loves college football, but let's talk about the professionals. No, not to hate too much. College football, it's exciting, but NFL. I don't want to sound like a casual, but like the NFL is very good at not burying the lead, and every single primetime game, the Thursday night game, the opener is obviously, the Thursday night game, and I'm gonna talk about some of the other primetime games, but it's Ravens Chiefs. Like it's obvious, like it's AFC Championship rematch. Did not go well for the Ravens last year, and Chiefs whole new receiving core. They have that I'm gonna hold back, but that guy at receiver who was drag racing at 150 miles an hour and seems to have gotten away with it, had some illicit substances in the back of his car and hit people and could very dangerous, but he's getting away with it because he's on the Chiefs. So I don't know, but I've drafted Rashi a few times in fantasy, so whatever. I guess it's fine. But they got Worthy, they got Hollywood, but I don't think Hollywood's going to play, unfortunately, which sucks because I want to see him in the revenge game. But yeah, Derrick Henry, he's back, or he's on the Ravens now. Like it's going to be a whole new game, and I think the Ravens have been hearing for the past 4 or 5 months, like, why didn't you run the ball? Why didn't you run the ball? And so then they go sign Henry, which, I hope he still has some stuff left in him. He maybe has half a season to a year. Like he's different, right? Like he's an alien, but like running backs at this, gets me so nervous. But, the Ravens have a whole new O-line. Pretty much, I think they lost like 2 or 3 starters. It's everything it's new, but it's also like they lost a bunch of coaches. So it's a lot of newness, and it really feels like to me, last year was the Ravens' year, and they blew the opportunity, unfortunately. They had the AFC Championship at home, and they just, freaking Patrick Mahomes, inevitable. So maybe we'll see if they can come into the Chiefs' house first game of the season and see if they can steal one. And obviously it won't make up for the AFC Championship. Nothing can. Well, the only thing that can is winning one and winning a Super Bowl. but maybe they'll be able to find some solace in that game. But that game is going to be very exciting. But as a Ravens fan, I cannot say that I am looking forward to this game. I do not have high hopes.
Yeah, I as a former Ravens fan, I have to agree with you. You mentioned all the newness. That offensive line, I'm not a huge fan of all the new pieces. I don't think they all quite fit in their positions yet, specifically for Lele at right guard. He's not pass protection will probably be fine, but if you looked in the preseason, they barely ran right behind their starting offensive line. I don't think that's going to look too good for them. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think, as you mentioned, last year was the real Super Bowl window. Now it's more of like like in the movies when the gate's closing and you have to run and like roll over. They're trying to pull that move. We'll see if they do it. But if not this year, then they have to restart probably from the bottom. Yeah, so I think that's definitely a good pick. What's your next game that you're looking forward to?
Well, yeah, again, I hate to sound like casual, but the Monday Night Football game. I promise I know ball, but the NFL knows ball also. They know how to market and they know what will get you in. But the Monday Night Football game, Jets Niners. We have a best ball draft tomorrow. Thinking about Garrett Wilson, and like I love his talent, and he's so good, and you can see how good he is because he did so much with so little before Aaron Rodgers, with Zach Wilson and the parade of quarterbacks they had, and he was still amazing. Like, legit saw him. I just remembered him having to play defense with the Zach Wilson throws because Garrett Wilson has on the fade, like he threw the ball so poorly that Garrett Wilson has to deal with so much. And so now if Aaron Rodgers just stays healthy, there's so much data that says that Rodgers loves his number one receiver, and Garrett Wilson obviously would be his number one, and Garrett Wilson would just be insane. He'd be so good this year for fantasy, but I don't know. Like, it's a 40-year-old man, again, the age. We talked about Derrick Henry, the age, but like this guy is 40 now and coming off an Achilles tear, and like he was very obviously not ever going to play. He just kept teasing that he's, he has an Achilles and he's going to be the greatest healer in modern medicine history and come back in 3 months. Like, it was never going to happen. I don't know what he was doing. He's just trying to, I don't know, like hope bait the Jets fans or something. But but like I don't know how if he seems to be doing fine, but like in camp and stuff. But he's still a 40-year-old man, and I don't know how much the Jets really did to improve their line. And they're playing a team that just went to the Super Bowl. But the Niners very very clearly, I feel like, are already feeling that Super Bowl hangover. They got the Brandon Ayuk stuff. They got every single running back in their depth chart is injured. Like, even Pearsall's injured, like new rookie receiver who's supposed to take over Ayuk. So it's like, I feel like if Pearsall was like really doing well in camp and stuff, they would have traded Ayuk by now. But they're like, oh crap, like we may have, might have been a mistake. But I think Ayuk will resign, but deals get done at deadline, so we'll see, because we still have about a week and a half till the season, or till their Monday night game. But this is going to be a huge test for the Jets. The first week of the season in San Francisco, Monday Night Football, the big lights. Hopefully, Rodgers plays more than 4 plays this time. But yeah, I mean, Niners off of a Super Bowl loss. Can they rebound and fight back and try to get back to where they were? I'm excited to see that. And Jets still have a ferocious defense, so we'll see how this Niners offense matches up. I think, Jets have amazing defense, but I think the one team you do not want to play against with a week 1 amount of time to prepare with is the Niners and the Chiefs. And now you're playing Kyle Shanahan, who's had all offseason to prepare for this. So, I think the Niners will probably stick it out, but it'll be very exciting. And I genuinely do hope Rodgers is healthy and that Garrett Wilson is a monster all season, but it makes me nervous.
Yeah, I think that's another great pick. like my only question mark on the Jets is really their free safety position. I thought they would go out and chase Justin Simmons from the Broncos. Obviously, he went to the Falcons, and they did a phenomenal job this offseason. In the draft, everyone was like, why'd you take Penix? You clearly signed Cousins for a Super Bowl run. You go out, you get Judon and Simmons. They might be primed for a Super Bowl run as it is. We could talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But so the Jets, there's really only the one question mark for me. As you mentioned, though, that defense outside of that is stout. Their front four is just ridiculous. Their linebackers are solid. Obviously, corners are great. So, and then even that quarterback, Tyrod Taylor as a backup, you could go out and win with that. So, you said you hope?
Yeah, I mean, well, let's try it. I wouldn't be rooting for them. I would be rooting for Rodgers too. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to root for them versus the Ravens or anything, but like, I want to see Rodgers play because he is good at football, and I like watching good football.
He's one of the few good ones left. But so I think that's definitely going to be an interesting game. A good one to keep an eye on. Brock Purdy's not really the guy to take advantage of a free safety as it is, especially with a lot of cover 3 and whatnot. So we'll see. A game that I'm very much looking forward to is Texans-Colts. Not a primetime game, but that is the early AFC South division winner is in that game. And that's going to play a big part, obviously, division matchup right there. The Texans, I'm surprised they're able to figure out pass blocking last year, but they really struggled with run blocking. But I'll give them that. They did figure out pass blocking with the guys they had, even with all the injuries. This year, they're obviously healthier at the start of the year, but they still can't run block for Dameon Pierce. And I think that's why they brought in a guy like Joe Mixon, is because he's so patient. You need that patient guy with the offensive line. Dameon Pierce, man, if you put him on the Niners, he just destroy. He's that one cut fucking boom guy. So anyway, getting lost in the weeds a little bit there, but Texans Colts is definitely going to be interesting. Shane Steichen did a fantastic job last year. They still have some question marks on their defense. 100% they're putting this thing out around Anthony Richardson, and that's the right way to do it. So if he can stay healthy, I think they're going to find a way to compete. Shane Steichen did a phenomenal job all around with them last year. Obviously, we all know what happened with the Texans. They did a great job as well. I think whoever wins that game has the inside track at the division. Right now, I'm giving it to the Texans, but the Colts could definitely surprise you.
Bro, the Colts got the best backup quarterback in football. They got Flacco. Yeah, and you know Flacco's snaps this year, dude. Like Anthony Richardson, I mean, I hope he plays also because he's very exciting and he's good for the game. But like, bro couldn't last 4 games. Like, I mean, obviously he's a rookie, and hopefully he learned from that. But like, played 4 games. Yeah.
So we'll see. Hopefully they already took an injury on the offensive line too. The Colts did. So it'll be interesting to watch. But he's so talented. I hope he gets to stay healthy and we get to see some more good football from him. The second game that I'm really interested in is Browns-Cowboys. I think we're looking at a matchup between 2 wild card players. The Cowboys technically could take that division too because it's the NFC East, but
they won the division last year though, I think, and nobody wins the division 2 years in a row for like the last 20 years.
Not allowed. Yeah.
So they're not allowed to win.
I mean, they have a shot. They obviously have a bunch of injuries in there too. But I think they'll both probably make the wild card to be wild card contenders, and I think that's going to be a very good game. The Browns, obviously, the biggest question mark is Deshaun Watson. What's he going to look like playing football? He's supposed to be healthy now. They got their tackles back. So it definitely should be interesting. Even without Nick Chubb, that offensive line is dominant. So is that defensive line for the Browns. And then for the Cowboys, I mean, CeeDee Lamb's back and good to go. You kind of have question marks behind that pass catcher outside of Jake Ferguson. Question marks at running back as well a little bit. So
but they got Dalvin Cook.
They put together the oldest, most questionable squad. We're talking about Derrick Henry hitting that age.
I know.
Took 2 backs who hit that age 2 years ago. And I don't even know. Derrick Henry might be older, but they already fell off. Derrick Henry still has something left, or last year he did.
Jerry Jones still thinks it's 2020.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, that's the last time his brain worked properly. So.
Oh my gosh. Oh, did you see the Browns just restructured, like legit just like a couple hours ago, restructured Deshaun Watson's contract?
I didn't see that.
I don't know how, like, this is, like, I'm not a capologist, but they just cleared $35 million of cap space. So I don't know what, like, they are very good. I will give them that. Now they have $62 million in cap space.
For this year?
Plus full salary. 2024 base salary for Deshaun Watson clearing $35 million this year.
Damn.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how Andrew Berry does this. Like, yeah, I'll give them that. Their analytics, their cap, they are really good.
You have to.
Yeah, we need to do a breakdown of this because.
Yeah, we'll do that during best ball tomorrow.
Oh, I think basically, I remember their cap hit for Watson was like $60 million, maybe the past 2 years, and now it looks like $72.9 million, $73 million for 2025, 2026. So basically, they just really backloaded it, and like this year it's only $27.9 million. So maybe they're looking to trade for someone, or they're going to look to sign somebody because they have $35 million in cap space now. And then it says 2027. What?
Now keep going.
2027, $27 million of void dead cap, but I'm not really sure exactly what that is. But apparently you can void dead cap now, which is I don't get that.
Yeah, we need to add a capologist to our mix.
Yeah.
That's who takes up 35 mil?
No.
I mean
that they would pay somebody 35, but like now they have space to look for something.
Yeah, but if anything, you want to front load a contract, especially when you have a quarterback who you're paying a ton of money that hasn't proven anything to you yet. He hasn't really played football in years.
Yeah.
With, the whole situation and then injuries. So I'm looking at their roster right now. I could see them they need a better backup safety for sure, and then a backup linebacker. But how much are you going to pay for that doesn't make much sense to me. Unless
is Garrett, are they going to do something to add even more money to Garrett or something?
Unless Ayuk's back on the table.
Oh, good call.
Because, the whole thing with Washington, I wouldn't put Ayuk to Washington. If you're Washington, you have a rookie quarterback, you don't trade away a starting wide receiver if you don't have a definite plan in place for your starting wide receiver spots. Or they're really stupid. They could be really stupid. We've seen it before from Washington. Either Washington's really stupid or there's not anything going on with Ayuk there. Not to say they're not interested, but they're not planning on it. So the whole I don't know. This Cleveland thing is interesting. I would say maybe
Myles Garrett had a potential out after. When it says potential out, that means for the team, right? Like the team can just cut him, and
you could probably structure it either way.
Okay, well, Garrett had a potential out, and then he's only getting $20 million a year. So I wonder if maybe they're trying to add to his contract also, or make room for him. But I like the IU call. I could definitely see that because Watson, the Browns were out on, and then all of a sudden they were back in. So you never know with the Browns.
Yeah. If I were them, I would trade Judy and a second, 100%. Judy and a second for Ayuk.
They just traded for Judy.
If I'm the Niners, what's up?
They just traded for Judy though.
But Judy's injury prone and he's had some drop issues in the NFL. I'm not saying he's garbage. He's a very talented guy, but Ayuk is an upgrade. And obviously, it's also scheme dependent. Ayuk's a dog, but he's not a true. He's more like Devonta Smith than Justin Jefferson.
I agree, and I think people talk about him like he's closer to Justin Jefferson, but I think that's a great comparison because Devonta Smith is very good, but he's very clearly very good. In addition to the fact that AJ Brown is on his team, and AJ Brown can take away targets, but that's a great way to put it. But I agree. I think Ayuk he's very good, but he is. I think in a very good system, and he can be a very efficient, effective weapon. But yeah, I think he's looking for Justin Jefferson money when he's like a notch a little bit below that.
Yeah. But I mean, to be like in Cleveland, he'd be behind Amari Cooper, so that would be phenomenal pairing there too. But
yeah, that would be solid.
Yeah.
And Cooper's getting older, so maybe it's like a nice transition period also to have Ayuk.
Yeah.
He's 30. Cooper's 30, so.
All right. Interesting stuff going on. We'll have more details tomorrow. During our best ball, we'll be chatting things up, talking about maybe some college, some NFL, and you obviously get to see what we think of these NFL players as we pick through them, watch when other guys make their picks and all that good stuff. So, Yehuda, anything else for right now?
Yes, real quick, but before we log off, I'm very excited to see how bad the Steelers look on their first game. I'm so excited because everything points to. I mean, last year I remember it was so funny. The Steelers killed it in the preseason. Kenny Pickett was he's the next guy the Steelers fans are like, oh, the local boy from Pitt, and then they freaking got destroyed by the Niners week 1. It was hilarious. It was incredible as a Ravens fan and as a football fan. Like, let's be real. Come on, we want to see the Steelers lose. But no, the drumbeat this year though is awful, and I love it. I'm loving every second of it, obviously. But they I'm not wishing for injury or anything, but they're I think their guard just got hurt. He just tore his pec a little bit. He's out for a month. They lost their center. They having issues on the O-line. Like, they're legit in preseason. Their tackles are legit looking like traffic cones. And Freddy did call this early, like months ago. He's talking about their O-line, and you can see on our TikTok talking about Jalen Warren, Najee Harris, how we are big out on those guys. So like, and Warren, I think, is their best playmaker besides for Pickens, but you don't have a quarterback to throw the ball to them, and so Warren is hurt now as well. I mean, he says he's going to play, but it's soft tissue, so it just looks like a mess, like a huge mess, and I'm very excited to see that mess, and I think it will be a big mess because they're going to Atlanta, who I think, like you said, they did a wonderful job building this offseason, did a great job. They got Simmons and Judon. Yeah, that was a huge deal. Like, anyone who was going to sign Simmons, that's huge deal. Like, we're like, why the hell is this guy available? Like, he is very solid, great safety. And now you get to pair him with Jesse Bates. They're going to have a solid defense. Got Big Kirko. Hopefully he's good off the ACL. I don't know, but at least he's younger than Rodgers. Hopefully he's good. Drake London. Kyle Pitts is finally gonna do something. And like, they got playmakers. They got a wide receiver 1. They got a RB1. They got a TE1. Like, they got guys. Now they have an actual non-DoorDash quarterback. So I think, like, this could be Tomlin can always figure out some random BS that'll keep him close somehow. And the Steelers, with how awful they look this year, they're gonna beat the Ravens somehow, at least once or maybe twice. But I'm smelling like a blowout, and I feel like that would be amazing. Another blowout to start the season. The Steelers fans in shambles would be incredible.
Yeah. And we did call it a while ago because they took Fatanu. I think that was the first round pick. Yeah. And just breaking him down before the draft. I mean, this guy, he has potential, but he drops his head a lot. Mm-hmm. He's more fit to be a guard in the first place. He could play tackle for sure, but either position you have to work on him, and guard you have to work on him a little bit less. So they were sort of counting on him, I think, to be their left tackle. And I don't know, there were better guys available. I think like the Raiders did a phenomenal job getting offensive line talent throughout the draft. But anyway, so we talked about it before. Now Frazier, you talked about their center Herbert going down. Yeah. Frazier's going to be able to be somewhat competent at the center position. I think that was a decent pick for him. I think they got him in third. Mm-hmm. He can't really do anything fancy if you want to get fancy with your center, but he can block a defensive tackle in the middle for the most part. So,
You see,
Anyway,
Fatano has
Steelers injuries are hitting. What's up?
Fatano also has a knee. I mean, he says he's good, but he got a knee from week 1 of the preseason, and
Yeah,
it's
but
just-
I mean, he says he's good, but so did all the scouts, and I think they were a little bit overhyping him. So,
yeah.
And then talking about the Falcons, man, I think the big piece they were missing was edge. And now Justin Simmons isn't just a great player, but he's a turnover machine. I think, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure something like 6 picks last year. I think he had a bunch of picks last year. So, he's a very nice player. Obviously, good offensive line. They have a 1B too, and Tyler Algier. Darnell Mooney's got some speed to him, so that's going to be fun to watch.
I think Simmons only had 3 picks last year.
Or 3? Okay.
But 3 times 2 is 6, so Freddie was right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. 2022.
So 3 picks and 2 of us.
Yeah, 2022 is when he had 6. But
okay,
it's not like he fell off or anything. He's still really solid.
Yeah, he's still a very good player. That should definitely be fun to watch the Steelers. I work with a couple Steelers fans, and I may no longer be a Ravens fan because I have to try and analyze things objectively, but somehow that Steelers hate stuck in my heart.
I love it.
I try and be objective, but at the end of the day, if I can see the Steelers lose, I'm gonna be a little bit happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm clearly not biased. Like, come on. All I was saying is just objective facts. So,
yeah. Well, because it's like we might no longer be Ravens fans as much because you try and look at things objectively. But when there are 2 teams, the Steelers and the Patriots, who take away your childhood dreams of watching your team in the Super Bowl, you don't forget that. You don't blame your team because your team can't do anything wrong, but you blame the 2 teams that took away your hopes as a kid of watching your team in the Super Bowl. So that's never going to fully go away.
I love that. I feel that nice little childhood trauma right there.
This is our therapy session.
Yeah. That's awesome.
All right. I think that wraps it up for us right now. We will try and get this out. We've been working on that, trying to figure out all these processes. We all have other jobs going on, but we love football. We love talking about it. So we're trying to get this out to you guys as well. Just a notch above your group chat football talk. Hopefully we'll have this out before the season. Check in with us throughout the season. Follow us. TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, not Snapchat. We have a website up, Film Fact Stats. I say Instagram. I don't know. We're on Instagram. We have an X account too. We're trying to get all this stuff going for you guys. So check us out. And until next time.
See ya.